Oh look, pleb's here again. Whatever do you want? Hey, do I have to put a mask on?
You don't have to.
Oh,
now.
right.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Do you do a trail thing?
Yes, we've got a pirate trail which is outside, and you get a little activity book and you follow it around the garden. Or do you mean to like go around the house?
We're doing the house tour at 3.
You're doing the house tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you go in there?
So that is where the house
Oh, is it?
tour started.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right, alright then. Is this just a shop then?
Yeah, this is just a shop. Yeah.
Alright. Nice stuff though, isn't it?
Yes. Hello for that, maybe.
I bet they cost a bomb.
They call them nice, I know.
How much are they? 30 quid?
He's only embroidered in doing that. It's, you know, proper stitch. They're quite cool.
It's nice to have an interaction, isn't it? And then they should follow the information. Remember last summer I was working in the house and I always got dead back and over. They do. Then they can literally tell you.
Get down. Very good, aren't they? £5. I've got to take something to remember it. Not that, no. Not a skull. I like them though, them drinking things. Got cobwebs on them, adds to the ambiance. Really got a spider in one on them, Jan.
It's the surf's day off today.
Huh?
It's the surf's day off today.
Yeah. Didn't need to, did it?
Yeah, the author.
Poems of Newstead.
A bard may chant too often and too long, as thou art strong in verse, in mercy spare. The thought, alas, were more than we could bear. But if in spite of all the world can say, thou still wilt verse ward, plod thy weary way. If still in Berkeley ballads most uncivil, thou wilt vote all women to the devil. The babe unborn, thy dread intent may rue, and thy readers too. It's a bit dark, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a lot to do in them days, did
Yeah,
they?
it's been a bad day.
That peacock ain't got no head, John. Oh yeah, so look at it from the other side.
Have they feather balls on the tree?
Yeah.
Would you like feathery balls on your tree?
No, I like them preen, John. I like them preen at least once a month, John. Indian. Allah, Allah, Allah. A what?
Do you want a goblet?
A gobble.
Goblet.
Oh, goblet. Yeah, I'll have a goblet, Jam. It's preferably one without a spider being in it.
I'll have one 12th night then.
Yeah, put that on your table. Yeah, I'll have that one.
Hey,
I'll have this one, please. That this above all to thine own self be true.
I might that in the fridge. these would have been all individual pieces of glass soldered together.
Oh.
So really, I mean, I wouldn't dream of doing it. I once took one out of a door to make a new door and put it back in, and you can go like that with it. It all bends, it's all separate pieces of glass.
Oh. Going to the waterfall, aren't we, Jan? Yeah.
Going for a dip.
Going for a little dip. Hey, John.
Yeah, that last video.
Yeah. A drip goes for a dip. What size bed's that then? King?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Probably about a king size, I would have said, yeah, but you can tell it's quite short, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Remember, his bedroom's as far away from his mother's bedroom as possible. Alright, remind me to tell you where his mother's room is, because it's right over that side of the house, okay? Original bed, this is Byron's bed from Cambridge, alright? He bought 2 beds back, this is one of them, the other one's in the Wicked Lord's bedroom. Drapes have been repoed. These are reproduction drapes of the original. The carpet's a reproduction of the original carpet as well. All right. All the furniture in here belong to Byron. Everything. Okay. And you can see if you look on the mirror, the easiest one, there's a little plaque at the bottom of the mirror, only a small one, and it basically was put on by the Wildman family to depict anything that was left when they bought the house. It was owned by George Gordon. All right. Now, remembering, Byron wasn't just Lord Byron, he was Baron of Rochdale. Don't ask me how he got that title, but that's what these depict on the corner of the bed. They depict the Baron title, all right, which he got via the family links. A lot of land, they were into mining, mines, etc. in Rochdale, and Byron obviously inherited all this. And you'll see that side of the bed, there's a pistol. Why would you have a pistol? Well, probably when somebody's husband or wife's chasing you, or somebody wants money off you, or you're in the middle of Sherwood Forest in vagabond land. Somebody comes knocking at your door wanting something off you, okay? Now, a lot of people comment about the size of the bed, and somebody's just asked me about the width of it. It probably is about king size, I would have said, but it's very short. Well, why is it short?
Because you're only little.
Almost. Because they used to sleep sitting up, all right? And why did they do that? Well, all they got were coal fires. Imagine the coal dust, what you must have breathed in, not only in the daytime, but at night time when you were asleep. Okay, so you can imagine they all had this heavy chest problem. Okay, so they all slept sort of sitting up in bed, bizarrely. Okay, now I showed you a little bit of our lake a few minutes ago. So our lake is through this window. You get a lovely view of it from here, by the way. Now Byron used to row out in his boat, all right, jump overboard and make bosun come and rescue him. All right, he was a young kid, remember, it was fun. All right, it's part of his fun. He was a great swimmer, he was a great athlete, sports person, rubbish at dancing. All right, and the only reason he was rubbish at dancing is because they said he had a club foot. All right, have you read this before? Has anybody read about his club foot?
I know, embarrassed by it.
He was very embarrassed by it. His mum used to make him wear a frame, all right, like a big sort of caliper basically on his leg to try and force the foot back into shape. And unfortunately for Byron, it caused him a lot of pain, caused him a lot of upset, and it also, he just didn't like it, he hated it, okay? So if ever you see a portrait of Byron, he's either stood behind something or leaning on something, all right? But it was something that he always had a conscience with. When the autopsy was done, when he died in 1824, they established it was an Achilles heel problem, and that it could have been easily corrected nowadays. His Achilles heel was just too tight. It just meant he just couldn't flex his foot enough. But it caused him a problem, okay? But remember, when we go down to the library, I'm going to show you a lot of his athletic stuff, all right? She described Byron as being, well, balmy. She said she didn't want it to be influenced by the Byron link, okay? Just so you know, by the way, Lady Caroline Lamb described him as mad, bad and dangerous, if ever you've heard that phrase. He described her as a volcano, though. There you go, all right? So mother kept her away, didn't want her to inherit the Byron madness. But unfortunately, when she died, it said she was a true Byron. She was a drinker, she was a gambler, and just before she died of uterine cancer in 1852, she made a huge confession to her husband, and he disowned her. I don't know what it is. Use your own imagination, okay? but a lady who's made great history. Never knew her dad. The only time she ever saw a portrait of her dad was when she came here, invited by the Wildman family, who shown her that portrait in our salon. Okay, but she's buried with him in the tomb, which I think's lovely in a way. I'm very sentimental. I'm emotional about her, but I think it's lovely that she's buried with her father in the tomb. All right. Left a great legacy, went on to marry the Earl of Lovelace. Her son Ralph carried on the title of Lovelace title as well. What more could you leave? All right, have we got everyone? Lovely. Okay. Right, so we're just going to talk quickly about his animals. Now remember, Byron had everything from tortoises to dogs to crocodiles, peacocks, you name it. Okay, we've had everything in Byron's heroic lifetime, all right? These are two of his favourite dogs. This is Lion. I talked about Lion at the top of the stairs, didn't I? In the Great Hall. He used to guard the stairs. Descended from the Wicked Lord's dog, called him the Wolf Dog. Mrs. Byron used to complain because it cost over £20 a year to feed him in those days, so you can imagine how much money that was. Right? It was a big old dog. The next one I have to talk about, that's Bosun. This is his beloved dog.
Bosun died of rabies, is that
Yeah, right. Bosun used to go into Mansfield with the post boy or the paper boy, whichever you wish to refer to him as. Used to be the same thing in those days. And he never came back. And when he did, he'd been bitten by a rabid dog.
Oh.
And all of Byron's friends said, you've got to get rid of him, you've got to get rid of him, he'll turn nasty. And he didn't. He nursed him right until the end here. And I think it's a tremendous story.
I came and walked around the gardens, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and read what's on the
outside.
Tomb. Oh my God.
Yeah, it'll have you in tears, it really will.
Me and Audrey sat there sobbing.
It is beautiful. Now, they said he was a Newfoundland. Now, we know he came from Newfoundland, but when you look at him, for me, he's more of a husky stroke collie dog.
Yeah.
All right? He's got that whole look about him. But he was Byron's boy. All right? I just think it's tremendous. The one thing I love saying to people, look at the size of his dog's portraits to his mother's. Doesn't that tell you something? Doesn't that tell you something? These portraits people always want. We loan a lot of portraits out for collections, and they always want these two. And they're the only two we always say, never let them go, because we need to talk about them all the time. And by the way, we still have the original sale document in the house that was signed by Henry VIII, dated 1540. All right.
Oh, this is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're just setting up for the outdoor theatre, open outdoor cinema tonight at the Rocky Horror Show.
Hey, marvellous.
Tomorrow, by the way.
Yes, because I'm coming to that.
Are you coming?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not in tomorrow. Okay, right. What's this room? Grand Salon. All right. Would have been the Priory Refectory. If you look in the wall, that's what the original wall looked like in here. Now this floor is totally fake. The original floor is below me, about 6 foot. Okay. This was put in by Thomas Wildman, who made this into this grand room. Okay. It was never a salon in Byron's day or Byron family day.
Nice.
It was actually their dining room. Because you never really had a salon in those days. You entertained in your dining area. Okay. So Thomas Wildman wanted this big, impressive room, but before Thomas bought it, what did Byron use it for? Well, he used it as a gymnasium. Well, wouldn't you do that in a house like this? He used it for boxing. On the day of his mother's funeral, it said that he boxed in here with a servant because he was so heartbroken he couldn't go. And he basically took it out of the poor old servant, so I don't know what happened there. But a lovely room. So Thomas Wildman, once he bought it from Byron, wanted to make this impressive room, and I think this is what he got.
You right? I was about to say, let's.
Just go through to the door on your right, and then we'll go into the big beautiful blue dining room.
You right?
This part of the house, by the way, is the Priory Infirmary. And all the families are using it for private quarters.
Oh no, you've got a bit of good wood,
Right
John.
downstairs. I'm watching everybody else do it, and I'm doing it. This is our old entry. This would have been the entry into the house, into your private quarters. So we are coming to the end, but don't worry, still plenty of time. So as I was saying, that part of the house used to be the private quarters for the family, and also used to be the Priory Infirmary in its day. That has been slightly changed. The family used to use this, the Byron family, the Wildmans and the Webbs all used this room as a private sitting room when they were over this part of their house. Originally, It's the priory warming room, would have been the only room with a fireplace, so you can imagine how cold this place would have been. Okay? But this was one of the only places where they could come. Byron used this as his blue dining room, his celebration room, where they all used to sit round dressed as monks with very attractive staff. Okay? Not because they could do a good job, but because of obviously their appearances. And they used to dress as monks, as I say, and go out and dig the cloisters up, looking for all the treasure of Newstead. I told you, the only piece of treasure they ever found was the eagle lectern that's now in the minster. It's beautiful. If only you get a chance to see it, it's massive. It really is. I'd love it to come back to us one day. Right. But this is this room originally was one big room, and then it was made smaller. Byron's wine cellar used to be the other side as well. So you just imagine him having these parties. Let's have a look in here, and I'll show you his Albanian costume as well. So just before we do move on, this is a replica of what St Mary's Priory would have looked like in its day. So this is the front of the house where I'm stood at the moment. So you can see just how big it was as a religious building. All right, it was very, very, well, it's huge, it was massive. And what they basically tried to do is keep this part of the house, and then obviously all this part's been taken down. That's where we've just come from, that's the southeast wing.
Oh, is that the one where there's no...
That's the west, this is the west front, yeah, so that's your religious part of the building.
Yeah.
All right, that's the only thing the Byron family ever saved. One of the things in here I was talking about is Byron's Albanian costume. Now, it shows you how little he is, all right? I wouldn't get my wrist in any of that, never mind anything else. But he used to travel quite a lot, and when he went to Albania, he just said their clothes were so much more fashionable, okay? And there was two of these suits, what he brought back. If ever you've seen his Albanian portrait, it was with us a few years ago, it went over to Australia, and it's actually from the National Portrait Gallery. And they did a project called Coming Home, and that's when we had his Albanian portrait in our library for quite a while.
Yeah, we do, but anything I think is different is to get that thing on the feet.
Well, you know, peacocks, the males basically sit in flashes, and the females are delicate. So because the females are the ones who pick, and the males are
You mind that
out.
You should remember that. Oh, at least you talk about that. Make it oh.
How many is looking down on for those?
Ooh. So we've done the tour, haven't we, Jam?
Oh, yeah.
And John paid £20 in tickets, didn't you, Jam? But other people turned up, I wasn't sure about it, but other people turned up and didn't pay nothing.
They may have done now. We don't know.
Oh, we know, Jam.
We don't know.
They didn't even
We'll
ask
have
us
all
if
paid.
they didn't even ask us if we'd paid or proof that we'd paid. But John paid because he's a good gentleman. Other people just turned up. Yeah, didn't they, John? Lasted about an hour,
paid
an
enough.
hour and 10 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too interesting. Informative.
yeah, very interesting. Yeah, Lord Byron turned out to be a dick, but didn't he, Jam?
Certainly eccentric.
Yeah. Now we're just walking a mile from the building to the taxi.
Walking off at ice cream.
Oh yeah, we just had an ice cream. We went to the cafe and it was meant to shut at 5 and it shuts at 4. The park was meant to shut at 5, that shuts at 4. So they need to sort out the website, don't they, Jam?
Yes.
It's not good enough. Not happy.
Honey.
We had a cup of tea as well, didn't we, Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge bourbon.
Yeah, oh God, that bourbon. You got a picture of it, haven't you?
Yeah. Could hardly dunk it in me too.
Big black one. Wasn't it, Jam?
Brown.
Brown. What's the car, Jam? So yeah, we're gonna go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah. And as always, have a great day. See ya.
A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights. And as the bass keep pounding on me, baby, I really wanna make you mine. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever afters. Something about you gives me hope. Something about you, yeah. When the sun goes down and the night sky's falling, do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause deep inside of my wildest dreams, you'll be by my side when the sun goes down.